All right. Good morning, TikTok. Good morning, Facebook. Again, we are on a live stream on Intellify. For the meantime, I'm using this brand for this session. Uh, I couldn't find or determine yet what would be a much better name of the channel. So I'll stick with the original one that I've been using for years. And yeah, today we're going to be discussing uh, probably two or three discussions or subjects or topics, but they are kind of related to one another. And these topic that I would like to discuss or tackle, um, I do see a lot of people talking about this on threads, and then looking at other postings from other social media platforms like in Facebook and even in LinkedIn. This is very much a concern that's being discussed by many people. So basically, the first one is, should we stay or hang on to a job that we no longer love, or maybe we should resign and for our peace of mind, for some break, and maybe to look after our well-being. Maybe it could be physical, from the physical exhaustion, and it could be also psychological and mental, because when it's a job that you no longer love, um, the the impact on ourselves is much more than just the normal, fatigue at work. So that's the first one. Should we stay or should we go? Like the song in the 80s. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Should I stay or should I go? That's the first one. Second is, um, this one I see more on postings or videos on TikTok, and this talks about AI or artificial intelligence. It could be a hype, right? A lot of companies are trying to sell their learning products on AI. You get trained to use AI. Yeah, it could be a trend, or it could be real. It could be a valid concern, or thing that we need to prepare for. So what is this? Yeah, if AI is going to be taking over a lot of our jobs or maybe roles, um, what are we doing? What are we doing to be prepared, to be ready for it? Or we're not doing anything yet because we believe that it's not really gonna take over most of our jobs. And like I said, it could be just a hype or a trend. So yeah, so these are the two topics that maybe I could like talk a little about it, and then maybe from that, if you're able to watch this, you would have your own insights and your own reflections, and at least awareness of at least these two topics, right? So the first one, yeah, uh, should we stay to a job that we no longer love? Um, Maybe because we are getting overworked, or maybe we have lost the excitement, on what we're doing. Another reason for that is sometimes we feel we're not growing or we're missing out on other possible roles, right, that we could do or try. And then maybe even the place, the process, and even the people. So those are three P's, right? That we interact with, we do, and we go to. Like maybe we don't want to go to the site anymore, or that city, or whatever complex or place that we go for our jobs. Yeah, so we're missing out. Uh, we are not finding any more growth, and maybe it has to do with how much we are getting paid compared to how much we are, um, sacrificing just to stay in that job. So, should we stay or should we go? All right. Um, if you go, like let's say you decide to render your resignation, no turning back, no taking back the resignation letter. Um, what we're gonna worry about now is um, where should I go, right? Or uh, would it be easy to find another job? And if there are job openings that we see that we like, we will be able to be the one to get in there or to get hired. Because also um, a fact that nowadays, despite so many jobs that are available and being advertised, um, the competition is very tough. And I myself, I don't really know what they are using, right, to uh, to select the people that will be hired. Because nowadays, because of the availability of a lot of jobs in the at least in the past 10 years, a lot of people are experienced already, and a lot of these people have degrees as well, and a lot of these people also have like credentials already. A lot of them have been like senior staff or managers, sometimes even president, vice president level. So if you would observe, like in LinkedIn, there's so many openings, advertisements, right? Hiring, and there are also a lot of uh, people that's already the one I said, right? Senior staff, 10 years experience, already managers or vice presidents, presidents from their companies, and they're still looking for work. And since I'm often on LinkedIn, I can see sometimes they get hired, and then after 6 months, then or maybe a year, they're applying again or they're saying they're open for work. So we don't really know what's happening. So many jobs, but the hiring is continuous and the applying is ongoing for these people, for us, for all of us. So going back to the topic, if we are on a job that we no longer love, if we decide to resign, what's gonna happen, right? What's our choices? What's our chances? And what are the strategies that we need to do? Because we already have them, right? For so many years since we started, through the years of applying, right, and undergoing all these. processes, we have already determined how we're going to handle and nail that job. We already have our strategy. But it's also a fact that uh, we need to have new ones, or at least we have to understand how it's working nowadays. So that's another matter. Okay. So going back, should we stay or should we go? I keep laughing when I say that because originally I really didn't have it in my head because of course before I go on live, I already have an outline on my head on the subject and how I'm going to talk about it. But those catchphrases that comes up like instantaneously, like this one, should I stay or should I go? A song, yeah, it just comes up. So forgive me for laughing, but this is a serious thing. I know because when I'm open, right? I always say I hang out on the new platform Threads, and I read all the postings there. And coming from all generations and all ages, from the Gen Zs down to the Gen X, or let's do it the other way around. Some Gen X, some millennials or Gen Y, and then a lot of Gen Zs. They are talking about this thing, like from getting a good job with a high paying compensation, and yet they hate the job and they would want to leave the job for many reasons, despite it's already high paying, right? And then for the other ones, like the millennials, the Gen Ys, why? And the Gen X, my generation, um, it's more of finding meaning, fulfillment, um, more on the missing out reason that I mentioned earlier, more on growth, and let's say a lot would also want to prepare for later, like in retirement. Our sure bet in possibly having a much better retirement years would be to have something of your own, no longer working for someone else. So preparing to build a business or continuing an existing business from the family. So these are the factors being considered by the Gen Y and the Gen X for leaving the current jobs that they have. So that's a valid reason for should I go, right? And going back, yeah, if you go to threads, um, because there's a lot of them talking about it, um, it's something that you would want to find answers for, right? What if these people indeed um, leave their jobs, right? Uh, what are their options, especially the younger ones? Um, what what would happen, right? Is this something that's gonna be better for these young people, or would it traumatize them further, uh, giving them the already existent worries that they have? Because apart from jobs or maintaining income sources and other options involved as far as financials are concerned, these people also have problems with relationships, dating, uh, failed, um, you know, experiences with the opposite sex, and many more issues concerned to, you know, social interactions with the opposite sex. So finances, relationships, and then we already have the mental well-being aspect, right? Uh, because of family, uh, mga panganay, reeling from the responsibilities of supporting the rest of the family. That's also one major grief that's being mentioned all the time. And then validation and appreciation from, yeah, same, from family and friends and the circle or the society. They are part of a lot of the younger people is enduring that, and yeah, and more concerns. So going back, if they quit jobs and discover that it's so difficult to actually get a better one, it's easy to get another one, but most likely similar experience with the one we that they already have. So what's gonna happen? Okay. So going back to our topic, should we stay or should we go? All right. If we go, uh, the scenario or the landscape is changing really fast. It's not the same as 1990, year 2000, year 2010, year 2020. It's no longer the same. I mentioned earlier, highly competitive. The hiring process is confusing, if not deliberately being made complex. And from another angle, people or experts say it's actually made more efficient and should be better because nowadays AI is the one doing the selection, or no, not the selection, but the the first level of screening just from your resumes, keywords on your resumes, how your resume is formatted, something like that. And is it going to be more efficient? Is it going to be more easy and quick, or is it going to be more flawed? Because if the AI would only look at the items on the resume, keywords, and not seeing the added value of what the candidate or the applicant is declaring in the resume, then what could have been a better hire was didn't even get one foot in the door, so called. All right, so that's another new thing, the screening process, and then uh, reason would tell us that the ones doing the hiring are the younger people themselves, or the ones doing the screening. And so an older person doing the screening, a more experienced one from an earlier generation, to a younger one, of course, would function differently, right? Um, if the younger person is also just looking at what is declared as qualifications and maybe, yeah, not different from keywords or uh, preferred items on the resume, then uh, if you're a younger applicant lacking whatever is desired, then it's going to be much harder for you to even get screened or selected in the initial process. So all these changes, new things happening nowadays, is it more efficient? Is it more effective? Or it's the other way around? Um, is applying for a new job going to be easier despite many openings? Or is it going to be even more frustrating? Because in threads, the people, they're also talking about that. Um, it's funny. From you getting a notice, from you being invited to an interview, experience during the interview, and also after the interview, um, they have stories about that. And most of those that I see or I read about is not really encouraging, and it's not really good. So, going back, should we stay or should we go from a job that we no longer love? Okay. And I don't know, is it going to make it more scary? Reports in the news and experts are saying AI will be taking over jobs sooner than expected. And these are jobs that are, let's say, the originally being mentioned as the ones going to be affected: customer service, um, accounting, and those that has like roles wherein the function is kind of routine, right? Or um, that can be taught, because normally there's a pattern that we just follow, right? But nowadays, recently, a few days ago, they're confirming that even doctors, lawyers, yeah, accountants have been mentioned sooner, a while back, would already be affected. So the next question is, um, what are we doing? Are we ready? And how are we preparing for it? So what scenario now is going to happen, or what could be happening soon? Of course, a lot of jobs will be gone, and we may not be able to easily work for those jobs. So what work will we be doing now? And if you have work right now and decided to stay despite you no longer want it, you no longer love it, but you need it, eventually you might be replaced. If not, uh, the number of staff will be reduced. So there's, however we go about it, wherever we turn left, we turn right, it's gonna happen. So what are we going to do? How are we going to prepare for it? Um, some experts now say an AI program is not really the one that's going to take over your job, but someone who knows how to manage AI, or how to operate AI in the process. Like the first ones that that are needed, right, in implementing AI are the so-called now there's a title, before there was not, the so-called prompt engineers. So what are prompt engineers? Way back in 2022, when ChatGPT was first um, released. So I was already monitoring it. I was one of the first who tried to use it. And basically, prompt engineering is how you tell the AI what you want it to do. And it's like a genie, fairy tale stories, a genie. You have to be exact with what you want it to do. If you're gonna give it like a limited one sentence instruction or inquiry, maybe even up to two, you may not be able to get the information that you want or that you need. So you have to um, be more specific. You have to tell it what it has to do. You have to clarify to the generative AI that it has to function like this type of person, and then do what you want it to do. And you have to even tell it like in detail how he is going to do it and present the answers to you. All right, so these are what prompt engineers do. And prompt engineers are effective if they understand the overall overview of the concern that he is asking the AI. He is asking the AI for the details and the steps. Um, if you don't have the overview, then that's where the problem might come in, and you would have a hard time writing down your prompt or your inquiry. All right, so that's what a prompt engineer does, and nowadays that is one of the people who may be able to stay in the job. All right, so let's say there's a department of 10 people. Each person is doing a certain aspect, right, of the process. Uh, AI now would be able to do the job of those 9 people. The 10th person who knows how to tell the AI would be the one prompting the AI what needs to be done. For example, I don't know if I should do this, but let's see. Um, you would say AI, or I use Gemini nowadays before ChatGPT and then Perplexity. Before that, U.com, and yeah, now I like Gemini because they have incorporated some human, what you got, more human-like reaction to your inquiry. So what you would say, "Hi Gemini, can you discuss to me the details on how uh, a shoe, rubber shoes for a person of this weight, of this size, can be made more efficient." That's your first sentence. And then uh, mention in a step-by-step process how it's going to be done. For each step-by-step process, discuss in a layman's language, and if available, provide extra information, relevant sites or links that I can look on, and if there are real life examples, include them for each section of your results you're going to be giving me, something like that. So the AI will tell you this will discuss to you the process, and then he will break down the steps. Step one, like this example with Nike, they used blah 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 blah, and so on and so forth. So at the end of the inquiry, you already know uh, the whole process. And then all you need to do in the future, if AI is already doing each section of the process, then you can just tell AI, okay, delegate this to that, and AI will do it. So everything that's being learned manually takes weeks, months, is accomplished in less than an hour. All right, so the people who can do that are the ones experts saying are saying will stay in the job. So that's one. There are claims already that even the prompt engineer is no longer needed. That an AI itself can tell itself to do that. Okay, so what are we going to do? Um, should we stay or should we go? Or before we go, while staying, we now get ready for the things that are happening and are about to happen. That's easier said than done, right? To declare, okay, I'll go prepare. But how are we going to do it? Will the government teach the people? Will our current companies teach us? Will our current employers be using or implementing AI? I see a lot of multinational companies not doing it because of mistrust still on the technology. And of course, which is a valid reason. Of course, another reason is privacy and protection of intellectual property rights. So, how are we going to prepare for it? How are we going to be ready? So, that's another question. All right. So, yeah, let me share it for those people who are going to be watching this on the recording. At least you would have you can refer to the ongoing topic that I just flashed right now. Should we hold on to a work we no longer love or just resign for our peace of mind? And what options do we have, right? If we do resign. Since it's not easy to find work nowadays, not because we're not qualified, but because a lot has changed in the process. And then, what about AI? Taking over jobs. How do we get ready? Okay, so that's pretty much the discussion that I had today. I see one other person joining in the room, and thank you for joining. But again, yeah, this is just something for us to reflect on, and whatever decisions we may do, we stay, we would hang on, hold on to our security, we'll sacrifice something, but we will be still secured for the meantime. Or do we take the risk? We'll choose our well-being, and at the same time, yeah, start preparing however we can for the changes, the upcoming changes that are bound to happen sooner. Okay, so thank you so much. And again, my name is Joel Dowell. If you have any questions, here's the email. And then, yeah, I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. Okay? And once again, this is another session with Intellify here at TikTok Live, simultaneous with Facebook. And have a wonderful day, okay? Happy Friday. Bye bye.